Hello, everybody. Wanted to go ahead and turn around and talk to you about one of the models of how attitudes work when it comes to buying a product and how we go about doing that kind of stuff. If you see, it's called the ABC model of attitudes. And I also want to talk about what's called hierarchy of effects. So let's go ahead and get started. Basically, I went ahead and just put this all up at one time. When it comes to your attitude, attitudes are really made up of what we call the ABCs. They're made up of three different parts. Okay. We talk about what's called affect. And affect is the way a customer feels about a particular object, an attitude object. All right. Um, B stands for behavior, and that refers to how the way a customer behaves. Do they buy a product or do they not buy a product? Okay. And then C is cognition, which is what a customer believes about a product. All right. Uh, these three things really come together. To understand an attitude requires how to understand these ABCs and how they interact. What comes first? Feelings followed by behaviors, followed by beliefs, beliefs followed by behaviors, followed by feelings, and so on and so forth. So you need to know these three things to understand how an attitude is developed, okay? How you feel about something, what you believe about it, the cognitive mental part. Um, Feelings are attitudes, cognitions are beliefs, and behavior, do you buy it or not buy it? So let's continue here. There is what is called the standard learning hierarchy. Okay. How do we normally purchase a product? Okay. You see there, it's laid out cognitions, attitudes, and behaviors. First, we gather information about a product. Okay. That is, learning information. We turn around and figure out what there is to know about it, what we like and what we don't like. Cognition comes first. Next, we form a feeling about our decision. Attitudes, okay? How we feel about something. All right, do we like what we're hearing? Do we like what we're seeing? Or do we not like it? And then finally, we act on it. We either buy it or we don't. So this is sort of the normal way that things occur in general. All right, cognition, we think it through, we decide on how we feel, and then we buy it. That's sort of the standard learning hierarchy. So you need to know the standard learning hierarchy. But sometimes consumers are not very much involved. And when consumers are not very highly involved, we speak of what is called a low involvement hierarchy, and things are a little bit different here. With a low involvement hierarchy, we gather at best limited information. That's the cognition. All right. We basically find out a little about a product, and then what do? We go and we purchase it or we don't purchase it. And then what happens is after the fact, then we decide if we like it or not. All right. So we form a feeling about our decision after our purchase. You got to know that if consumers make purchasing decisions like this, all that relevant information that the seller offers is wasted. Okay, it's much more stimulus response. You're looking for a product, you see it's a pretty color. Oh, I like that color, I like how that looks. You go ahead and buy it. And then later you find out your true feelings about it, if it was a good product, if it was not a good product, and so on. If consumers are low involvement consumers, okay, use a low involvement hierarchy, really a stimulus response ad, a colorful ad, colorful boxes, cute jingles are all you need. People aren't going to go to the trouble. If you're going to create a product and an ad to go with a product for something like that, you don't have to worry about lots of information because low involvement people are not going to be interested in it. Then we have what is called the experiential hierarchy. All right. With an experiential hierarchy, the very first thing the customer does is come up with a feeling. Okay, they feel positive about a particular product. All right, they it makes them feel good. Maybe going on a cruise sounds wonderful, or buying a beautiful you know rug for their apartment or house makes them feel good. It's all about the feeling, and then they go out and buy it. Okay, It's only after purchasing the product that they gather the information, the cognition. Okay, so then they have to find out the extras that you have to get to be on the cruise ship, the extras that come along, the accessories with a rug, and so on and so forth. That's basically what we're talking about there. So these really are the three types: so your standard learning hierarchy, your low involvement hierarchy, and basically one based on feelings or experiential hierarchy. In terms of some other factors, know that attitudes can be formed on things other than a given product. Sometimes attitudes can be formed based off the advertisement. People decide that they like a product because they like the ad. They may not know anything about the product, all right? And so, just the ad is so good that they turn around and like it and decide this is what they want. Sometimes attitudes are formed basically concerning buying itself, going out and shopping, garage sales, getting something on Amazon or other things like that. Basically, for the most part, the experience of doing the purchase is what it's all about. I've been at auctions before where people get into a bidding war at an auction, and they want to win. They don't even care what the product is that much. They sort of lose interest. They just want to be the one to walk away with it. In fact, in terms of auctions, as an example of attitudes concerning buying, I've seen products go for much more expensive than they actually are worth because people want to turn around and just be the one to say that they got it. Okay, that's enough for this one. Very short. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it helps.